Eddie Hearn hating on Showtime, Steven Espinoza, and PBC viciously. And we gonna talk about it. We unpack. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I had to make this video, bro. Eddie Hearn viciously hating on Showtime, Premier Boxing Champs, PBC, whatever you want to call it, Steven Espinoza, and it's too flagrant. This is a man who has a trash schedule and has the most to say and the audacity to say something about other people's schedule. So we'll get into what he says, and then I'll get into my spiel. Fair enough? So this is what Eddie Hearn has said.
Let's go through the others. David Benavidez against Romar Angulo. No, awful fight. Chris Colbert, who I like Chris Colbert, but he's headlining an event against someone I never heard of. Stephen Fulton against Angelo Leo. Sorry. Let's go through the others.
So he says these are awful fights, like David Benavidez, awful fight. David Benavidez, Mexican-American, undefeated, just stopped Anthony Durrell, who had never been stopped, on a popping card, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, right? This is the same man who gave us Daniel Jacobs in his first fight at 168 against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Arizona, caused a riot. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. failed to report or submit a drug sample, and he took him across state lines from Nevada because they wouldn't sanction the fight because he didn't do his drug test appointment. He tried to take it to Cali. They weren't feeling it, so he took it to Arizona. Now Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is indefinitely suspended. Julio Cesar, let's get this up. Let's pull it up. Look, ESPN, new media. Let's talk about it. So this is a man has the audacity. July 18th, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. suspended indefinitely for refusing December drug test, which is when he fought Danny Jacobs, right? And it tells you more in this article. I can link in the description. Refusal to take a drug test prior to December 20th bout against Danny Jacobs. So now that I've proven that I'm telling the truth, let's keep going. Actually, before I keep going, let's talk about this. On my channel, I'm here to give you that uncut, that raw. I'm fully independent. I don't work for anybody. And it's funny because I always get accused of being on someone's payroll or working for this person, or, old media gets mad because I'm speaking facts. They hate the truth now. And they say, oh, you're being biased, right? But then there's literal people who work for other companies behind the scenes. Eddie Hearn documents this in an interview. He says that, yes, I pay certain people, certain media people to be at my events. Why would I not want them? If they have this leverage or this type of impressions or reach, why would I not want that at my fight? So it's funny. There's a lot of times insecure people, they do insecure things like projection. Now, people say, oh, Ego, you're being biased because I'm spitting the facts. So I pulled up the word bias for you. Bias, right? Noun, a prejudice in favor or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. Boom. So right then and there, when I'm talking about Showtime, PBC, potentially Fox, I got to wait to see what they do. When I'm talking about their schedule, there's a lot of people. See, I'm real big on linguistics. That's why it's like in one ear, out the other when people try to insult me and they don't even know the words that they're using. I just went and gave you the actual definition of bias, right? That last sentence is important. Usually in a way considered to be unfair. That is something that I'm not. So in the world of boxing, I've said this before, boxing isn't equal. What I mean is I'm not talking about, yes, there should be equality for women should be treated well in boxing. Men should be treated well in boxing. Fighters' pay should be fair, considering what they're in. They shouldn't be robbed. It shouldn't matter your skin color, your race, ethnicity, national origin, or creed. Those things should be equal, for sure. Your sexual preference shouldn't matter. Things like that. Those, we should all be equal on that. If you could scrap, you could scrap. You could fight, you could fight. However, when I say boxing isn't equal, what I mean is Floyd Mayweather, his skill set is not the same as Robert Guerrero. So I don't care on my channel if that offends you when I'm speaking the truth that I see and I say Floyd Mayweather is going to beat Robert Guerrero. And the funny thing is the people who misuse this word in boxing of bias, what do you say when I'm right? Like, for example, I got accused of being biased because I picked Errol Spence, right, to beat Mikey Garcia. I've interviewed Mikey Garcia. I've covered several of his fights. I like Mikey Garcia. I like Errol Spence. Me picking Errol Spence has nothing to do with my personal feelings. Again, this goes back to the topic I mentioned earlier, projection. People feel because this is how I view boxing, or because I'm racially biased or show favoritism to certain people depending on what flag they represent, where they're from, etc. They feel everybody does that, and that's not the case. I picked Errol Spence based on the merit of Errol Spence I thought would beat Mikey Garcia. So what do those people say that said I was biased, and then Mikey gets destroyed and loses every round, and then those same people make excuses in the comment section? So how was I biased when I was right? So this word gets thrown around. Things aren't equal in every situation. Like I said, Floyd's skill set, I'm not going to give, let's say Robert Guerrero, like I said, I'm not going to give him the same chance to beat Floyd as I give Floyd to beat Robert Guerrero. He's going to have to show me that because of what I've seen from the two fighters. So I just want to go over that before, because I'm about to really go in. A lot of people just throw this word around and they don't even understand linguistics or know what the word means. What I'm saying is I'm not slighted to one side, or I'm not paid by one side. I'm telling you what, this is not me being a shill. This is just what I see. It says in some sports such as lawn bowling, the irregular shape. Oh, that's nothing to do with it. It says cause to feel or show inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. Give a bias to, right? And when it comes to Showtime's schedule, they're destroying their competition. That's not coming from a place of bias. That's just what it is. Their schedule is better. So for Eddie Hearn to do what he just did and hate on Showtime's schedule, it looks foolish. It looks really foolish. But Stephen Espinoza took a jab at him. This is a Eddie Hearn interview, right? From when DAZN was first coming out. And he says, this is what Eddie Hearn had to say. Hold on.
I expect Showtime to leave the sport in 12 months because it's too ferocious, it's too competitive, that people like, not Stephen Espinoza, but the people above him will look at boxing and go, this is expensive, and I'm not sure it's generating the business that we need it to, just like HBO did. It wasn't a decision of Peter Nelson. I expect Showtime to leave the sport in 12 months because it's too ferocious, it's too competitive, that people like, not Stephen Espinoza, but the people above him will look at boxing and go, this is expensive, and I'm not sure it's generating the business that we need it to, just like HBO did. It wasn't a decision of Peter.
He said it wasn't a decision Peter Nelson made. HBO got out of the boxing business because, they weren't making money, basically. This is a promise that Eddie Hearn had made to crush, using DAZN as the launching pad to crush PBC, Showtime, and have all the American promoters, including Bob Arum, advisors like Al Heyman, shaking in their boots. He said this was the American takeover. He says DAZN is the future. DAZN is the Netflix of boxing. We're going to be too competitive, Too Ferocious. We have a $1 billion war chest. These are the things, not ego. These are the things that Sir Eddie Hearn had to say, you know, none of which has come true. None of it. Eddie Hearn said we're going to get top rated guys. I guess he thought he was going to come in and scoop and throw a bunch of money about or potentially offer a bunch of money and captivate Broner, captivate Deontay Wilder, Charlos, Jermell and Jamal, Errol Spence, and Mikey Garcia. Get all these like top rated guys to come over to this brand new platform who hadn't proven shit. And they were just going to see dollar signs and say, ooh, and go over. So this is Steven Espinoza over 2 years, I believe, definitely over a year later, saying, hey, what happened to Too Ferocious, Too Competitive? Hardly. And he did this days after he announced his Showtime schedule. You can't make this stuff up, bro. You can't make this. Showtime schedule is a peach. Like they got some good fights on there. Like, look, Showtime, there's their schedule. Boom, we got action. Smash the like button. It was supposed to be Stephen Fulton, Angelo, Leo with Mayweather Promotion. That was 2 undefeated fighters, 18-0 and 19-0. Very similar records. That fight got canceled because Fulton had a positive test. So what did Showtime do? They responded. Boom. Angelo, Leo, Tremaine Williams, almost identical records. So they had a game plan in place should one person fail. Very impeccable response from Showtime. Look, Angelo Leo, 19-0, 9 KOs. He's fighting Tremaine Williams, who actually fought on a DAZN card. I watched him. And he has a similar record to Fulton, Cool Boy Fulton from Philly, who is no longer able to compete because he's sick. Rest up, get well soon. So this is a good fight too. And if you go to Tremaine Williams' page, there's a lot of pro fighters saying that he's going to win and backing him to win. So this is a great alternative substitute fight to what could have been catastrophic on their first fight back because their fighter tested with the 19. You see what I'm saying? So it says undefeated super bantamweight contender Fulton Jr. tests positive for the 19 and is removed from the main event. And the guy that Tremaine Williams, he was already on the card. So it's not like he was off the couch. He was already going to be on this card, but now he got elevated to a title shot. So 2 undefeated fighters, similar records to even the first option. The alternate, the guy he was supposed to fight on this card still gets to fight on this card. Right. So they're like boom, boom, boom. And they had a game plan and they recovered nicely. You know, you ever watch a game of football and you see the running back and then he fumbles, but then he recovers it real quick and then he can pick up and get a couple more yards? That's what Showtime did. This could have been a fumble and it could have been a turnover on downs, but they recovered the fumble and then got a couple yards or ran it in for a touchdown. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn's talking all this ish, you know, hating on Showtime's schedule, and they just had a sickness fail or whatever you want to call it with their recent fight. They just had a fight, and then what they did is elevate. Let me show you. They have a fight happening outdoors, right? Excuse me. Look, their fight got canceled and he put it in Trump's state, or it got postponed, whatever you want to call it. So they just took the co-feature and it made it the main event, which happens to be women's boxing, which women's boxing doesn't always get a fair rap. And not every, you know, I'm not saying this from a point of being like sexist, but not every woman's bout is one competitive, and not every woman's bout is branded and known about to the point where they could hold up a whole card. But this was DAZN. So you got Eddie Hearn, whose main event, his champion, Julio Cesar Martinez, also signed to Canelo Promotions. He's ill, so he's off the main event. They built this elaborate setup or whatever. They built this elaborate setup in the streets of Oklahoma, whatever they were doing. And now your main event got canceled, right? Your main event got canceled, and your bounce back is just putting a female fight that nobody even really knows the two. Well, Cecilia Brækhus, people kind of know her, but you just by default elevated it, as opposed to getting McWilliams Arroyo in there with somebody else, or whatever you had to do. So their bounce back wasn't the same. And this is ironic that this is the man who has all these fights. Who is that? Is that Soto Popinski? That looked like Soto Popinski from, who is that? Key and Peele looking ass, bro. I don't even know who that is, bro. And Eddie Hearn is up here talking about, who is that? He look Amish. Like, man, get him out of here, bro. Eddie Hearn talking. That can't be his real mustache. Who is that? Bro, this man got Wyatt Earp on the card. Like, this man got Doc Holliday. Like, what is that? Like, man, I'm about to end the video right here. This is enough unpacking. That can't be real, bro. He looked like Yosemite Sam or something. Kurt Russell and Tombstone, Doc Holliday look. I'll be a Huckleberry looking ass, bro. Man, what is the point of that, bro? And Eddie Hearn is talking about PBC schedule is light. That's light bars. Bro, I don't know any of the. Who is this? Who is it? Who are any of these people, bro? And Eddie Hearn really talking about, David Benavidez versus Romer Angulo. Who is that? You talking about David Benavidez? I'm bro. And the other reason Eddie Hearn can't compete is, look, man, man, stop. Eddie gotta stop, bro. He gotta stop. It don't even make sense. This is your schedule, bro. Eddie Hearn on YouTube and Sor Rungvisai. He got Rungvisai, a former champion who beat Chocolatito, who was supposed to be, pound for pound number one a couple years ago. He beat him by knockout when he was pound for pound number one. And they got him fighting on YouTube. He a DAZN fighter. Why do people pay for a DAZN subscription if he gonna be fighting on YouTube? Sometimes it's better to just zip it and just, chill out. But Eddie Hearn, he's narcissistic and he wants to respond to like Steven Espinoza taking jabs. So he's trying to take jabs at him. Look at the first tweet. Cheesehead man versus Ritson world class. Look, he getting roasted in the comment section. And then this is his only response. He said he was too ferocious. He said, to be fair, that video has made me realize something. I'm very handsome. Who says that? What about your fight card? We don't care how you perceive yourself and you thinking you're handsome. Bro, that's a lame response. What Eddie Hearn is doing, he's looking bad out here in these streets, bro. You're hating. Showtime has a better schedule than you. They're making memes and all types of stuff. Look, they got him crying. He was crying in there. Look, they doing all types of stuff. And Eddie brought this on himself, being narcissistic, because he wants to convey this fake alpha male, and he wants to trash other people's schedule. Anthony Joshua, we don't even know when his fight is. They just have a rumor. Nobody cares about this fight, to be honest, stateside. And he's talking about, oh yeah, Benavidez and Chris Colbert, who I like, but it's not. Who is this dude? This look like Joaquin Phoenix and stuff. Like, nobody even knows him. This look like the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, Gladiator. You know what I mean? Like, and he has a nerve to talk. Look, he talking about somebody else's card, and this is what he's putting together, bro. And you notice he's always in the center of the picture. Like, he can't not be in the picture. If I go to a fight, Steven Espinoza is not guaranteed to be in every pic. Look at him, man. Bro, any old artists want to remain artists, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer, all in the video, dancing, come to death row. Bro, why is he in every picture? You're not the fighter, sir. We don't need to see you. You're in the middle like you about to fight, or you the referee or something. We don't need to see you. I don't even know who this is. Man, get him out of here. Get him out of here, bro. Where's this American takeover? I got serious questions, y'all. And maybe y'all can help me in the comment section. Who is that? If you want to talk about other people's card, let's talk about your cards. That's what we doing. This is your fight camp. This is your fight camp. Rung Visai fighting on YouTube at 8:45 in the morning, but you talking about Showtime. And he's fighting, I don't even know who this is. Peoples Hernandez from Shaft Jafar. I don't know who that is, bro. I'm Peoples, man. I don't even know who that is. That motherfucker look like a genie or something. Like, get him out of here. And you talk about, oh, David Benavidez, but Romer, who wants to see that? That's awful. Bro, we could talk about awful. We could talk about awful. Who asked for Dillian White Povetkin? Dillian White has to get an exemption because he's in Portugal, you know, for whatever reason, training. And he fighting Povetkin, who really is coming off a loss, in my opinion, to Michael Hunter. I thought Michael Hunter definitely beat him, right? And this is probably the best fight on your fight camp. You know, you said Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor were going to fight, but she called you worse than horrible. And now you have this fight. This is a solid fight. This is a good fight. But if this girl, Delphine Persoons, lost in New York, which we all seen that Katie Taylor lost, then what do you think is going to happen if it's another close fight and it's literally in Eddie Hearn's backyard? You know how fighters say, oh, I'm fighting in a person's backyard? They talking about, like Rosario, if he says I'm fighting in J-Rock's backyard, they talking about in Philly because that's where J-Rock is from. But with Eddie Hearn, the boy got his own money. They are, if a fighter fights Eddie Hearn, fighter, rematch room, and they say I'm fighting your backyard, they are literally talking about his backyard. Look, this is not like a gimmick. Like you're literally fighting in that fighter's backyard because it's at Eddie Hearn backyard. You know what I mean? And Eddie Hearn got somebody. This is in his backyard, bro. Look, you see the Matchroom Castle headquarters or whatever? Eddie Hearn got to stop, bro. You just know when you've lost and when you've won. Look, this is literally in his backyard. And notice he doesn't even want to rent a venue. It always has to be about, you know, oh, we're doing this in Saudi Arabia. Oh, we're in the backyard so people can see his house. His house is really nice, too. See, again, I'm not a hater like Eddie Hearn. I don't hate. He has a beautiful house. It looks like a beautiful estate. It looks ballerific. But come on, man. You got to be real. Showtime is destroying you. And we haven't even heard the Fox schedule. And the other thing is, he talking about U.S. pay-per-view is dead. I got so much to say, bro. See, this was the main event, no longer a main event. So they elevated, like, she looked mad as fuck. She looked mad. So the main event got canceled. You didn't handle it as good as Showtime. And then you still trying to badmouth Showtime. And you have a woman's fight that nobody knows about that hasn't been promoted. And you got them fighting in Trump, where Trump did the rally. And this is the card. Castro, Ford, Abbey. I don't even know if there's a Royal Rumble, 3 people fighting. And then Giasov Rojo. Like, he fighting red and shit in Spanish. He fighting red. Rojo. It's like Eddie Hearn and bro, and him and Bellew. Like, what is any of this, bro? How's a man gonna talk about anybody's card? Please tell me. Please. I can't wait. Like, who are any of these people, bro? And he's really trying to talk about how PBC, look, Smith versus Bennett. My name's Bennett and I ain't in it. He fighting Alfred Lord Tennyson, the poet, versus Gwyneth Paltrow or whoever. Egg and cheese. Like, man, come on, bro. You have to work with me. You got to be within reason. Like, who is this? I have no idea who that is. Wardley, Villili, Gill, Johnny Gill versus Bellotti. Like, and he talking about David Benavidez. David Benavidez is well on his way to being a star. And we're in a pandemic. So, you know, you didn't think that they were going to make Benavidez and Caleb Plant, but they could definitely build to that. And I think that Benavidez is dude. Like, let's look at it here. He said Benavidez. He said it's an awful fight. Watch. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you. See, because they say when I'm telling the truth and I'm spilling these guys' guts, that I'm being biased. So I've already done the research. He says, oh, Romer Angulo. I don't know why it doesn't even, BoxRec don't even have him listed. Romer Angulo. He's from Colombia. And a lot of guys like Bradis Prescott from Colombia got cracks, right? He lost one time to Zurdo Ramirez. So he says this is an awful fight. This guy is 26, 22 knockouts. So that he has an 81%, almost 82% knockout ratio, one loss. That one loss was to a respected name who's a free agent now in Zurdo Ramirez. And he beat Anthony Sims Jr. So I actually have seen this guy. He fought on a Matchroom card against, or a DAZN card. I know I seen the Anthony Sims Jr. So yeah, look, his only loss is to Zurdo Ramirez, Gilberto Ramirez. He didn't get knocked down and he didn't get stopped. And you saying that Benavidez fighting a guy with the 82% knockout percentage and his sole loss is to Zurdo Ramirez in 2018, you're saying that's a bad fight. But let's look up his fight this week, Sam Eggington. Let's see who these motherfuckers lost to, if it's Zurdo quality people, right? This man, stop it, Eddie, you lost this one, Eddie, bro, come on, bro. This Billy Goat beard looking dude, bro. He been stopped twice and he got 6 losses and his KO percentage is 50. And this is your main event and you talk about the next person's card, Ted Cheeseman. Look, he got all these fights, right? He got all these fights, 30 plus fights. And he fighting Ted Cheeseman with under 20 fights. And these are look who he's losing to. He lost to, he got knocked out by whoever this is, Hassan Makawa. Mama say Makusa. Mama say Makusa. Mama say Makusa. Mama say Makusa. Bro, he lost to Hassan. Mama say Makusa. Mama say Makusa. Mama say Makusa. He got knocked out by this dude has 11-2 record and knocked him out. Then he was knocked out by Liam Smith, who Canelo destroyed. And he had lost to Muhammad. And Muhammad is his prophet, Mimoun, or whoever this is. And this is your main event. This is your main event. Look, that's him right there, ain't it? Week 1. And you talking about David Benavidez versus Roma Angulo. What? Don't even get me started with Ted Cheeseman. I already know he lost. You got the fried egg and cheese shit, bro. Look, this is him. OP Ron Howard looking motherfucker, bro. 50% knockout ratio. He got beat by Scott Fitzgerald, right? And Sergio Garcia. And last year he lost twice. So hold on. Look, you couldn't make this up if you want. Eddie Hearn is talking about somebody, Showtime schedule, Steven Espinoza, and this man lost, had a draw with Kieran Conway, and then he lost again. He has 3 losses basically last year, 2 losses and a draw. How about that? And he talking about David Benavidez's opponent. And look, none of these guys are names like Zurdo Ramirez, who's a free agent that people should pick up. Look, loss, draw, loss. That was all last year. And Eddie Hearn is talking about this schedule is weak. Chris Colbert. Bro, these are competitive fights. Eddie Hearn got to stop, bro. Eddie Hearn got to stop. He looking too crazy out here. Bro, stop it. Stop while you're still behind. Look, this is your card, bro. This is your card. This is your card, bro. Here's what they think about you. Look, they don't even have his opponent. He fighting Hollow Man. He fighting Casper. Like, where's his opponent? That's how you know it's no. Man, I've noticed this in boxing. Anytime you see a fight poster and there's only one fighter, the opponent's trash. Because there's no way you would see several graphics or official fight graphics for Mayweather Pacquiao and they don't put Pacquiao on it or they don't put Mayweather on it. You know what I'm saying? Usually from doing like Photoshop and stuff, usually when you can't find a HQ high quality photo of the person or because they're not popular and Google search don't have no images or you don't have the license to any high quality images, that's why they get left off. Look, he don't got no opponent. He fighting Thin Air, Conway versus Thin Air or whoever this dude is. And this man, look, he got the John Travolta chin and Eddie Hearn talking about the next man's schedule. Bro, he got to stop. I don't know who none of these dudes is for real. And like I said, man, what? Just stop. He just need to stop. The narcissistic, posh, British stuff, it don't work in America, bro. It don't. These fights look horrible, and you're trying to save face by trying to bash the next person's schedule, but it doesn't work like that, bro. How you gonna bash the next person's schedule, and their schedule is significantly better than yours in a pandemic? In a pandemic, they doing this. And they recovered nicely when they had a mishap. Stop it. Stop. They had a mishap and their first fight card got compromised. They bounced back nicely, much better than when Julio Cesar Martinez fell off. Listen, if anybody co-sign, if you want to be down with that, look, he's talking about these fights. Benavidez is a beast. And the thing I like about the Showtime schedule is this. We know in the PBC infrastructure, it leads to something like Erickson Lubin. Okay, Erickson Lubin, his only losses to a champion, Jermell Charlo. He's 22-1 with 16 KOs. Powerful southpaw. He's fighting a guy whose only loss is to Erislandy Lara. And this is what Eddie Hearn is really trying to compete with and brainwash you into feeling somehow his cards are amazing, even though a guy has 2 losses and a draw on his card this week. And this guy, Terrell Goucher, out of Cleveland, has 1 loss, and that was to a champion, Erislandy Lara, or championship caliber person. And then Lubin lost to another champion, and they're facing each other. Somehow that's a bad thing. Romer Angulo, he lost to Zordo Ramirez. See, Eddie Hearn, he's clearly went the way of trying to scoop up all the casual fans. But to real boxing fans, this don't make sense. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? Erickson Lubin lost to Charlo. Terrell Goucher lost to Lara. So this is a good fight. What I love about what Showtime is doing September 19th and then all these fights is we know Lubin and Goucher, they're cracking at the door for a title shot, another one, or at least a bigger name should they get past this. The winner of this could fight Swift Jared Hurt, you know, for a non-title. And then the winner of that fight for a title. Or if Erickson Lubin, let's say Lubin looked real good and knocked out Goucher. I'm just making up stuff. Lubin, he might, you know, he's ranked high enough. He might get a Charlo rematch, right? He might fight Rosario if Rosario beats Charlo. So it's a succession plan that leads to something. And then Eddie Hearn, I'm not even going to spend too much time. Eddie Hearn wanted to sign the Charlos, but now he's saying that he doesn't think that their pay-per-view, is it worth pay-per-view? Get all this casual talking point. Support this fight card, Showtime doubleheader. Who is the last person that gave you 2 basic unifications? Derevyanchenko beat Golovkin, so that in my brain, that's a unification. And Rosario has 2 belts and Jermell has 1. So that is a unification. Name another company that gave you a pay-per-view doubleheader and gave you your money's worth. 2 established names. They happen to be brothers. Like, when did HBO ever give us Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko in unification type fights on the same card and pay-per-view? Bro, this is almost unheard of. Derevyanchenko is a beast. Rosario is definitely dangerous. He just knocked out a man, J-Rock, in his backyard. Now, I did a video called Everything You Need to Know About the Showtime Rollout. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing again because I've already done it. But for Eddie Hearn, he know he wrong, bro. And he's trying to brainwash the super casual people or racist fans or whatever that might buy into this bullshit. Lipinets, he only lost to Mikey Garcia, who just fought on DAZN. And Eddie Hearn has been wanting for a while. He has a 16-1 record. But more importantly, since the Mikey Garcia loss, he had beat Lamont Peterson, a veteran fighter who arguably beat guys like Danny Garcia, who has a win over Amir Khan, etc. Respected name. And he's fighting this undefeated dude, Kudratio. I'm not good with names, but you guys get what I'm saying. This Donaire fight is fire, bro. Donaire, a veteran, he has some losses, but he lost at the elite level for the most part, you know. And he's fighting a 17-0 guy. Like, I mean, these are just good fights. Look, he talking about Chris Colbert fight. He's 14-0, got a Netflix movie, and he's fighting this dude who I watched on PBC just fight Jason Velez, and he looked good, bro. You know, it was a competitive fight, but he has a 16-1 record with 13 knockouts. I think he's from the DR. So, I mean, it just looks crazy that Eddie Hearn would even try to play this game of like insulting the next person fight. And I haven't even really deconstructed his card because I don't even have to. But just the Sam Eggington fight tells you what you need to know. You know, the Sam Eggington. And look, ever since I did that live stream and I called it egg and cheese, you see people making up graphics and calling it egg and cheese, bro. I'm the trendsetter, never been better. I'm just hoping that this poster is fake. It looks fake. You know, he got them in a skillet, bro. But even if it is fake and it's fan art for egg and cheese that's happening this week, the fact that you can even make this is ridiculous. He put the fighters in a fucking skillet. Like, you know, that's how much of a joke this fight is that nobody's really even checking for. So Eddie Hearn should probably just zip it. Showtime is bodying him. PBC's bodying him. Fox, we don't even know what they're doing, but they'll probably be bodying him too, especially if Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and other fights happen. And you got Eddie Hearn, who's failing his American takeover, and he keeps telling you or trying to tell you about how American boxing works. If you know so much about American boxing, then why is your first fight back to America in the States? The main event got canceled, and you have Cecilia Brækhus versus McCatskill as the main event. And the crazy part is it's gonna run you $20. That if you want to watch DAZN, that's gonna cost you $20, bro. And he talking about the next person's card, bro. If you know so much, why was Jacobs versus Chavez a complete failure that looked bad, especially with the drug test non-cooperation? You know, it's just Eddie Hearn. He sounds out of his mind. He sounds like he's really narcissistic and he's losing his whatever type of leverage. I don't even think the UK is believing this anymore. You know, these are bomb fights. You know, who is that? Tennyson? Alfred Lord Tennyson. That's the only Tennyson I know. Man, Eddie Hearn's out here looking bad, bro. He probably had to put these fights in his backyard. Cause what venue is gonna host this and be like, yeah, we want to pay you a rights fee for this? So Eddie Hearn should just stop it. He just stop doing interviews for a while, focus on you. And the last thing I'll say is, do you notice Showtime, they don't typically go tit for tat. Like when Top Rank announced their schedule, I thought it was light. It's light, you know? And I didn't see Steven Espinoza start shaming Top Rank and clowning their fights and stuff. Who is this? This is your main event. She looked mad as a motherfucker, bro. You know when your ex catch you cheating looking at it, bro? You know what I'm saying? Your ex, she know you cheating with the coworker Lisa. That's what she look like right now. This is Eddie Hearn's American main event. You know when you tell a kid no in the store, like, Mom, could I get this toy? And you're like, your mom's like, nah, put it back. Or your dad's like, no, put it back. Put it back. And the kid gets mad and like they hate their parents. That's what she look like right now. I hate this house. I hate this family. But you got to say that under your breath. Your parent, if your parents were like mine, you got to say that in secrecy or just be thinking it. That she look like an angry kid. You know, no more candy. No more candy, Nikki. Yeah. Kids start doing all that. Somebody ate your top ramen noodles out the cupboard and shit. But anyway, Eddie gotta stop, bro. It's just looking bad, bro. It's just looking bad. I mean, I think I've done a solid job unpacking it. You guys let me know. It's just like, how you gonna talk about the next man of it? Like, that's like somebody having herpes and saying, aha, you got chlamydia. Like, bro, you got herpes. Like, if you got herpes, how you talking about somebody having chlamydia and laughing? You know, you got Eddie Hearn. He got this herpes ass schedule, and he talking about Showtime got chlamydia. Like, wow. It's just, you know, I know that's an ill analogy, but I gotta let that one breathe. I gotta let that rock. It just don't make no type of sense, bro. You know, the person with herpes talking about, oh, you got chlamydia. What? Chlamydia, getting rid of you. This is this man's recharge and focus. Bro, he need to be. He lost. Hold on. It said he recharged. It said he recharged and refocused. Okay. That's why you got to put this cheesy cheeseman type shit. Recharge and refocus. The motherfucker need to be. He just lost, had a draw, and another loss. So yeah, he better be recharged. Bro, you can't afford no more losses, cheeseman. They're talking about recharge and refocus. Shit. He better be recharged. He lost all of 2019. And the funny thing is, old media, stop it. Pack it in. You can't go tit for tat because, again, boxing is not equal in the sense of you gonna compete with me and try to go tit for tat with me. I'm speaking facts. I'm showing you the facts behind what I'm saying. So there is no two sides to this tale. He lost 2 times last year and a draw. I could show you and prove to that. I could prove that to you. So you can't rebut old media. That's why they always mess up. Because people like Eddie Hearn and old media, they try to compete and like Showtime tries to get the last laugh and says, aha, I thought you were too ferocious. And instead of just being quiet, Eddie Hearn tried to rebuttal. And it made him look crazy, bro. Checkmate. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.